One night she takes a cup of alcohol, she presents it to the king, and she causes him to become drunk. Once he's lost his mind, he's drunk. In the middle of the night, she brings her daughter, she decorates her, and she takes her to the room of the king. That night, the king commits adultery with his wife's daughter, with his stepdaughter. And after that, he falls for her. But then his wife tells him, I will not give you my daughter unless you do one thing for me. On one condition will I give you my daughter. And that is to bring me the head of Yahya. If you kill him, I'll let you marry my daughter. Of course, this king, after doing all those evil actions, he loses his mind. He falls for her. He orders his guards to go and attack Prophet Yahya alayhi salam. They kill him, massacre him, behead him, and they bring the head of Yahya in a bucket and present it to the wife of the king. He did not observe purity and chastity, nor did his wife observe purity and chastity, and the result was this tragedy. Another tragedy that occurred. Ibn Muljam, the killer of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Ibn Muljam, this cursed enemy, one reason why he attacked Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam was that there was a woman by the name of Qudam in the city of Kufa, and he was desperately waiting to marry her, but she had refused. She told him, I will marry you on 3 conditions. First of all, you have to give me 3,000 dirhams. Secondly, after giving me 3,000 dirhams, I want you to buy a slave for us who would work at home and serve us. And thirdly, I want you to kill Ali ibn Abi Talib. Because Ali ibn Abi Talib killed my father and my brother in the battle of Nahrawan. And I want to seek revenge from him. Why did he kill them? This is one reason why Ibn Muljam set to kill Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Muawiyah had sent him and he had given him the sword. But with this reason, this motivated him to kill the Imam. If purity and chastity had been observed, these tragedies would not have been occurred. This is the first entity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to us about in the Holy Quran. زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ وَالْبَنِينَ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions a few, such as children, how they have been made attractive to us, and how through them Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests us human beings. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions 2 important things. The first is money, wealth, and the second is entertainment. When Allah refers to the horses, back then they used to use the horses for racing, for entertainment purposes. Through these 2 things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also tests us human beings. In the religion of Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us honor and dignity. And we know that very well. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, as the Holy Quran states. But how is it that you really earn that respect? How do you earn that honor and dignity? Is it through your wealth? Is it through your power? Is it through your status? If people respect you because of your money, then really they're not respecting you. What are they respecting? Your money. If you're being respected only because you've got power or you've got some social status, then in reality, people are not respecting you as an individual. It's the power that's being respected. It's the status that's being respected. But in the religion of Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to be respected. Allah wants you to have your own dignity and honor. Not to be respected because of your money or because of your wealth. These desires that we have enslave us human beings. The message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam is to be free, to achieve freedom from the enslavements of this life. from the enslavements of our desires. Most people live in this life being simply slaves to their own desires. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam teaches us to break the chains of slavery and to be free individuals. This is something that he told his enemies on the day of Ashura. He told them, "Oh people who have come here, O Bani Sufyan, who have set out to fight me and kill me, if you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in the day of judgment, if you have no belief whatsoever, at least be free men. Don't be enslaved to the materialistic aspect of this world. Achieve that freedom. Achieve that respect." This is the meaning of zuhd. What does it mean to be zahid? Many people think that leading an ascetic lifestyle or being economic in your spending, this is the meaning of zuhd. That you don't own anything, that you don't spend anything. That's not the true meaning of zuhd. Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam in one hadith teaches us the true meaning of zuhd. He says, ليس الزهد أن لا تملك شيئا إن الزهد أن لا يملكك شيئا. The true zuhd is not that you don't own anything. Absolute and true zuhd is the fact that nothing owns you. We human beings are owned by our surroundings, by the material life around us. And these things distract us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I remember a while ago I was speaking to a brother who had this difficulty in fighting his desires. And he told me that I always go to the retail stores and I buy the most expensive t-shirt, the most expensive suit, the most expensive outfits. I told him, "Why do you do that?" He would buy, those very expensive brands. He says, "When I buy that shirt, which is expensive, I feel good about myself. I just feel good." I told him, subhanallah, Allah wants you to live so dignified, with so much honor, yet you are in need of a piece of cloth, which is a shirt, in order to feel good about yourself. Subhanallah. You've enslaved yourself to a piece of shirt. Or you need this brand new car in order to feel fulfilled in life. You see, there's no limit to it. Are you a free individual or someone who's enslaved to the world? Realize that full dignity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. Don't become a slave to these objects around you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to elevate our status. This is the message our Imam teaches us on the day of Ashura. To completely detach ourselves from these things which destroy us. This doesn't mean that power is bad. No, this doesn't mean that money is bad. In fact, it's necessary for us to survive. Imagine if a ship wants to sail in the midst of the oceans. It requires water. Now, if the water is very shallow and there are rocks on the ocean floor, it could get very bumpy. The more the water, the better it is for the ship. But the minute that this water enters inside the ship, what happens? The ship sinks. That's it, it's gone. The material world is good for us, but the minute that the world touches your heart, you've lost yourself. And the shaitan and your evil nafs have gained an upper control on you. The Imam ﷺ teaches us to detach our hearts and our minds and our lives from these objects in life and to focus on the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ilahi taraktu al-khalqa turran fi hawaka. Oh Allah, I've left the entire creation only for you. وَأَيْتَمْتُ الْعِيَالَ كَيْ أَرَاكَ. Oh Allah, I've orphaned my family and children to come to you, to meet you. فَلَوْ قَطَّعْتَنِي بِالْأَصْفَادِ إِرْبًا. If you cut me into pieces, لَمَا مَالَ الْفُؤَادِ إِلَىٰ سُوَاكَ. If you cut me into pieces, oh Allah, my heart will never be detached from you, O Allah. It will always be fixed on you and attached to your love and attached to the belief in you. This is the message of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Because the world is not worth it. ذَلِكَ مَتَاعُ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيا. This is what the world has to offer. وَاللَّهُ عِنْدَهُ حُسْنُ الْبَآءِ. But what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared for us is far greater than the temporary joys and temptations of this life. One day Prophet Dawood alayhi salam, he was walking outside his city, on the outskirts of his city.